My fiance and I have been engaged for 2 years now. There have been a lot of issues with our wedding, but I knew in my heart that no matter what, our love for one another was strong enough. But the last few weeks have been traumatizing for me. Not only have I developed severe trust issues, but I also feel like life has paused for me. Everyone around me is consoling me all the time, and that is making me feel even more frustrated. I know that people care for me, but somehow watching people sympathize with me is only making it worse. But I do feel like I need to talk to somebody, and I'm not in a position where I can afford therapy at the moment. So I'm here talking to you all, hoping for something. Bear with me till the end of the post, please. So, my fiance, Luke, not his real name, we will just go with this for now, and I were high school sweethearts. We've been in a relationship for over 9 years. We've practically watched one another grow up. Through all our arguments, fights, breakups, and patch ups, we finally made it to the point where we got engaged to one another. Our relationship had also become long distance for around 3 years due to our jobs. I had to move to a different city for my new job after leaving my last one because the pay was really good. On the other hand, Luke was an artist and was struggling at that time. I had always believed in him, even when he did not believe in himself. From supporting him emotionally to financially, I always did everything that I could. In my mind, I knew that we were a family. Sadly, this was just my sentiment. Luke had other ideas in his mind. Before we got engaged, I always had extravagant plans for my wedding and hoped to carry them all out. But Luke wanted a really simple wedding because he believed that spending so much money would be a waste. So, after a lot of discussions, we decided that we will save up as much as we can, and after that, decide how to properly utilize that money for our wedding and future. It was mostly me saving money at that time. I hoped that it would change once he was settled, but that didn't happen. He started getting successful after some time, but developed a habit of spending too much on unnecessary things. I still remember how we used to have so many arguments because he called my wedding dreams extravagant, while he would spend so much more on useless things. Anyway, I kept on saving and saving as much as I could. I would only buy the necessary things and never spend money on anything luxurious. I would try to save as much money as I could so that we could have a grand wedding. After we got engaged, he kept on delaying the wedding. It was always something with him, but I decided to give him the space that he required. Never did I ever imagine that he had planned on betraying me as he did. With time, I could feel that we were growing as distant as one could. He was always too busy for me. After getting engaged to him, I also got involved with his family. His parents were the sweetest and treated me as their daughter. I used to spend way more time with them than with him. Slowly, I started to feel like something was off. I got to know from his younger sister that he was partying on certain occasions when he would lie to me about being busy with work. So one day, I decided to confront him about it. He interrupted me several times and did not even hear me out. He labeled me as a controlling girlfriend who was trying to gain information on him via his family. He said that I was suffocating him, and this is not the kind of life partner he wanted. I was hurt by his saying such nasty things to me, but I tried to control myself and understand his behavior. I told myself that he was stressed with everything and I should be more patient with him. That is until one fine day he suddenly goes MIA. Initially, I was not too worried because he had done this in the past. But after a couple of days, I got a text from him saying that he was leaving the country for his soulmate. I was so shocked at that message and was trying to understand what just happened when something else caught my eye. So Luke and I shared a joint bank account. All the money that we were saving for our wedding was kept over there, the entire wedding fund, mostly money that I saved over the last few years. As I was looking at his text about his apparent soulmate and his decision to leave the country, I got another notification informing me about the account being drained. Not only had he decided to suddenly leave the country for some woman I had no idea about, but he also took away all of my money. I felt physically sick. I did not know how to react to this. It was like bad things happening to me one after another. My hands were shaking and I did not know what to do, so I decided to call his dad. I was unable to say anything and I started crying badly. He kept on asking what had happened. I sent him a screenshot of the message along with the notification regarding the money. There was no response from the other end for some time, after which his dad took a huge sigh. He started apologizing to me and told me that he will take care of this situation. I just kept on crying while he said that he will do something. The next thing I know, there are messages from Luke verbally abusing me for involving his family in his mess. He wrote all sorts of nasty things and said that I was a horrible girlfriend and he wanted to get rid of me as soon as he could. I got a call from his father after a while and he said that the money would be transferred back to my account. As for my fiance, his father said that he was truly sorry and that after everything that happened, I should not be marrying such a man anyway. Everything was happening so quickly that I did not know how to react or what to say to anything. His dad seemed to understand that and said that he would come over and explain everything later. I'm just so heartbroken and upset. I don't know how my life came to this point. How do I deal with this? Update 1. Hey there. Thank you for all the kind comments. As you all can already understand, Luke never really had any plans of marrying me. He was simply using me for my money. His dad made sure that I would get all of my money back. That man went against his son for my sake, and I could not be more grateful. His parents are ashamed of him and have been apologizing to me ever since. As for Luke, he just went on expressing his anger towards me for involving his family. I don't know what to make of this. The audacity of him to expect me to just sit around and be quiet while he takes all of my savings and goes away to enjoy his life with his new girlfriend. I can't understand how I misunderstood this entire situation. I hate myself for blindly trusting someone. Our wedding is off, obviously, and everyone around me is full of sympathy for me, and I feel horrible. I feel like my entire life is ruined. I don't know what to think or what to do. I feel like I've been so invested in having a family with Luke that I never really paid attention to what I wanted outside of my little family bubble. I feel so clueless and sad. Luke still has plans on leaving the country to go to the girlfriend of his who he refers to as his soulmate. Update 2. All right, I have some news. So it's been 3 weeks and my ex-boyfriend is already off to meet his soulmate, only to realize that he had been catfished. I might sound mean for saying this, but I have enjoyed this so much. It felt like karma was hitting him back. The last few weeks have been tough, especially with him texting me all of a sudden, randomly with so much hate. He is really mad at me because I told everybody about his little affair and his plans on stealing my money. So when I got to know about this soulmate turned catfish thing from his sister, it made me laugh so badly. It started from a genuine laugh to a bitter laugh. It's just that I thought that it would make me feel better. Looking at him going through something bad made me feel better for a moment or two, after which it just worsened. I don't know how long it will take for this feeling to go away. Update 3. Hi there. I can't thank you all enough for all these kind words. It makes me feel so good. So many of you leaving such nice comments and giving your view and opinions on this definitely makes me feel very validated. I have been spending some time with Luke's family these days. I had a good bond with them for years. I thought that they would become my in laws, and I wanted to have a sweet bond with them. And after the way they supported me against their son, my love for them just increased. They have become family, and it felt good to see them on my side. My friends are also really supportive. Most of them who have heard about the situation are interested in gossip. I've been getting so many texts from so many people who never even bothered to talk to me when everything was going all right. I try not to think too much about these people. One of his friends did tell me that there was no need for me to tell everybody about his actions, but I strongly disagree. Tell me, do you guys think I did the wrong thing? Yeah, because if so, I am still proud of that. The world deserves to know about him and his reality. His getting catfish was just karma, but that is not all. I wanted to make sure that everyone knew what he did to me. If he wanted to break up with me or want to be with someone else, that was okay. He could simply break up with me instead of keeping me hanging and using my money for all these years. It was not fair, not at all. So tell me, am I the a-hole for telling everyone all of it? NTA, just ignore the person who tried to even make you feel like it was your fault. You did the right thing. I would do the same. Your ex is just a jerk and an opportunistic coward. He did not dare to break up with you directly, so he did all this drama. You are a great person. You will find someone great for you. NTA, I have to say, this getting catfish was exactly the karma he deserves. It was the highlight of the story. Also, your ex-father in law sounds so sweet. I can't imagine in laws being this nice. And for you, things will get all right. It will take some time for sure, but it will get all right one day. Next story. I, 24, female, am a bridesmaid in my friend's, 24, male, we'll call him John, and 25, female, we will call Sarah, wedding. I've been friends with John since middle school, and me and his fiance have also become great friends over the 4 years that they've been together. So I, of course, said yes when she asked me to be a bridesmaid. The wedding is in March, and last month we had started discussing bridesmaids' attire. Dresses and shoes had been picked out and ordered, and yesterday all three of the bridesmaids, including me, and Sarah were discussing the accessories, and to our surprise, she had already ordered some. It's all gold jewelry. It's beautiful, but the only issue is gold always causes me to break out and become rashy, and she knows this. I told her I couldn't wear it, and she said it was her day, and I wouldn't have to wear it for very long, just during the ceremony and pictures, and she didn't think it would be a big deal because it's not like it would kill me. I told her it would still cause me to break out and be extremely uncomfortable and itchy. She called me selfish for not pushing through uncomfortableness for her big day. And I responded by telling her, I don't care if she's the bride and it's her day. It doesn't give her the right to force someone to wear something that causes them extreme physical discomfort, and she was the selfish one. I also told her if I had to wear that jewelry, I wouldn't be part of the wedding. The other bridesmaids think I'm being too harsh, but my friend John is on my side and has been trying to talk to his fiancée and convince her to let me wear different jewelry. AITA for calling her selfish and refusing to wear the gold jewelry? Edit. I've texted her and gave her some of the suggestions like coating I could wear. She doesn't want to risk ruining the jewelry because it was expensive, but she said I can wear a fake look-alike. The problem now is she wants me to pay for the new fake accessories since I was unable to wear what she purchased. I'm already on an extremely tight budget and have been taking on extra time at work to set money aside for the hotel and travel expenses for their wedding. I'm not exactly sure where to go from here. Edit 2. I'm reluctant to pay for the replacement jewelry because she was well aware of my allergy beforehand. We, Sarah and all bridesmaids, had agreed that she would pay for dresses, accessories, shoes, and any other clothing or similar items she would want us to wear. She said we would only be responsible for our hotel, travel, and hair and makeup. I don't think it's fair I pay for a replacement when she knew beforehand and it was agreed upon before she was paying for accessories. Edit 3. Apparently, Sarah had talked to John about the whole thing, and he was on my side of the situation. She messaged me and told me after she talked to him about it that she realized she was taking things too far, and she said she was not going to make me pay for the replacements. She apologized and said she'd been stressed and she didn't realize the extent of my allergy. I accepted her apology so we can move forward. But it still bothers me a little that even if she thought my allergy very mild, she was expecting me to suffer through an allergic reaction for her wedding. Edit 4. Just because I feel like it needs to be said, I am allergic to gold. No, I'm not allergic to nickel. Yes, it is possible to be allergic to gold. This comment section has made me realize that my friend may have truly been ignorant and uneducated about my allergy, since there are people in the comments that straight up think that gold allergies aren't a thing. LOL. NTA. When you're at a wedding party, you unfortunately gotta submit to the will of the bride most times, LOL. But that does not include anything that will literally cause you harm. I wouldn't be surprised if you wore the gold, broke out into a rash, and then she complains your rash ruined the pictures. RO1. I actually mentioned that to her. The dresses are somewhat low cut, and she would definitely see a bright red, rashy chest in her wedding photos if I wore a gold necklace. I don't think she understands the extent of my reaction. Her fiance knows, though, because we've been friends for well over a decade and has seen me get a reaction to gold before. NTA. Her reasoning that it won't kill you is BS. A lot of food allergies don't kill either, but only a massive a-hole would serve someone food known to cause them rashes, discomfort, etc. This is the same principle. You shouldn't do it to anyone, let alone someone you like enough to be in your wedding party. It's not unreasonable to ask to not wear the jewelry. Wear similar jewelry you're not allergic to, or back out of being a bridesmaid. The bride needs to give her head a wobble. She's being selfish. The truth hurts. Next story. Basically, I'm 22 female, and my grandparents are semi-retired and like to spend a couple of months staying here in my country and spend the winters here back home in their home country. Growing up, I was super close with my grandparents because my mom would always pawn my brother and I off there so she can go out and do whatever. And when I was 16, they gave me a key to their condo. I still live with my mom and pay her a couple of $100s a month for rent, which is understandable considering I'm an adult and still living with her. So I don't mind contributing. I'm in the process of saving to move out. But my mom and I have a very rocky relationship. The issue is ever since I was 16 and got my first car, my mom has been basically kicking me out of the house on the weekend so she can have it to herself. She'll tell me, make plans and don't be home because I want the house to myself this weekend. She'd do this because she wanted to have her boyfriend over or she just wanted some time alone. I could literally be doing drugs, staying at a boy's house for all she knows, etc., and she wouldn't care because she needs her alone time. This still continues to this day, even though I pay her rent. Over Christmas, grandparents announced to the family that they were going back home at the end of January. I'm like, great, now I can stay at their place while they're gone and not have to deal with my mom. Wrong. My mom has a talk with me the other day and basically told me how we have to share my grandparents' condo and coordinate when we'll both be staying there because she wants to stay there too. Her excuse is that it's close to downtown and her boyfriend's house. I told her no. I said, so you want to first control when I come home and go at your house, and now that I finally have a place I can stay at to not deal with you, you want to control when I'm here too? She said it's not my condo and that we have to share. I said, true, but I'm the one who has the key, not her, and that she has her own damn house. She said I better give her the key or I'm not allowed to stay here. I started laughing in her face and told her to piss off. Anyway, now she's pissed off at me and is demanding an apology and the key. My grandparents feel stuck in the middle and don't want to take sides. Since the argument, I've been staying at my dad's house and have decided to move there for good. I currently am staying there and enjoying my grandparents' condo on the weekends. Mom's been calling my dad and me nonstop, demanding I give her the key and apologize. NTA, unless your grandparents tell you that your mom can have the key, you are under no obligation to give it to her. Sounds like moving to your dad's was the right move, but probably a better move is to save up for your own place soon. NTA, your mother has some problems with boundaries. If you pay her rent, you can come and go as you please. Not only do you not have to give her a key to your grandparents' condo, you should not, as it's not really your right to do so. Hopefully, you get your own place soon and can leave all of this nonsense behind. Next story. I, female 20, live with two boys, my boyfriend, 21, and a friend from high school, male 20. Literally everything in the kitchen was purchased by my boyfriend or myself. This includes all the basic kitchen supplies such as silverware, dishes, appliances, and cookware. We also bought all of the food and spices as well as cleaning supplies. The only thing the other roommate has bought has been the stuff for his specific meals as he is on a restricted diet and his meal prep containers. It has become a big issue where he will use all of the seasonings that I purchase and not replace them. He has also used all of the foil, parchment paper, etc. There were a few times when we had very large sizes of stuff that my boyfriend and I purchased because we mainly buy in bulk from Sam's Club. He frequently uses our stuff to the point where it's empty and then doesn't replace it. We have asked him to replace the stuff he uses, and he either doesn't or will buy a cheaper, smaller version of the item. He said he doesn't see the issue with it since it's in the kitchen. My boyfriend has specifically asked him to help contribute to the stuff of ours that he uses, but he told him that it was too expensive for him to buy. If it's too expensive for you to use, then you shouldn't be using it and expecting someone else to pay. Not to mention, he questioned me the other day as to why something I bought for a meal I cooked wasn't in the fridge anymore because he wanted to use it and was planning to use it for his food. Like, dude, what the frick? I bought that for myself, not for you. My boyfriend and I are super close to having to buy all new pans and silverware because the roommate continues to use pans to cook meat on, but leaves them to sit with grease on them, or instead of washing it, just puts a new piece of parchment paper over the dirty pans and reuses it to the point everything is rusted. These pans were brand new when we moved in, and we don't use them aside from the occasional cooked we make, which don't cause a pan to rust. He said that it's not from him and he doesn't use it, while literally taking his food off of the pan. He told me that it was like that when he moved in because they are cheap anyway, so it didn't matter. We also have almost half of our silverware missing because he takes our silverware with him to eat his lunch or meals at work and other places, but forgets it. We confronted him about it after his girlfriend brought some of the silverware back from his apartment, which he said wasn't from him. Would I be the a-hole if I took everything out of the kitchen and boxed it up so that he can't use anything? If you won't contribute, then you shouldn't have the right to use something, in my opinion. Update. All of the seasonings, cooking oil, Ziploc bags, and stuff are in our bedroom. We'll see how it goes, but now one of the bowls is missing. NTA, I've been in your situation before, and he's just straight up exhibiting bad roommate etiquette. If you use something up, then you should be the one to replace it. Can't afford to replace it? Don't use it. I once had a roommate who used up a bottle of avocado oil that I bought and thought that a can of Pam spray was a proper replacement. Needless to say, we don't live together anymore. LOL. NTA, but this will only make your life more difficult, which is unfortunate. I think a young couple plus a friend is just a bad roommate combo. Obviously, there are always exceptions, but I've seen this before. You and boyfriend are in the nesting, domestic phase of young adulthood, and he's caught somewhere between being the kid in your house and a one-man fraternity. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.